Here's the cool thing about Painter. Knurling is super easy. So I've got this fill layer here. I'm going to do another fill layer. This fill layer is just going to do height. In this height, I'm not even going to bother importing the knurling. I'm just going to go to height here. And we're going to go to our procedurals. We're going to grab a brick generator, drop that onto height. There's our bricks. Now you're going to see this guy's UVs are crappy. They are all over the place. So what I'm going to do is say, you know what, don't use my UVs, use triplanar projection, and that'll make them nice and uniform, regardless of what the UVs are. If you don't believe me, we can go over here to 2D only, and you can see this is his UVs. I have no idea which way things are pointing, but triplanar projection will ensure that the bricks are stacked exactly up and down on my object. So that's cool. Let's go back to 3D only here. So we can go ahead and UV scale this down. Now again, these aren't offset just yet, so it's not great knurling. Oh, actually no, they are offset already, so that's great. But they don't really go to a point, and then that's easy enough to fix. I think just bevel X, just crank that up, and then bevel Y, crank that up, and there you go. There's your knurling. If you only wanted to go to a certain place, mask with color selection, pick a color. We'll just have it applied to here. And then you can go through here with your height, and you can do histogram position. And I think that'll that's just gonna do a clamp. So let's make it easy. Go to your height, and then change this down from 100. Just crank that down as far as you want, just for some light knurling. And of course, these places you don't want it to show up, let's go ahead and just add a paint. So we have our color selection, putting it right there. We'll go ahead and add a paint. And we'll just say, you know what, paint in black because I don't want it here. Or you can go into the selection mode and say I don't want it. We'll do this in black as well. I don't want it here. Or if you want to be more careful, you can change your perspective to orthographic. And now you can just snap to a side view and say I just want it knurling on the middle section here. Ta-da. Now, if you're so inclined, if it's not something as simple as just bringing in a procedural, you can go into, we save this on the desktop here, so we're going to take knurling, drag it on here, and we'll say, okay, you're an alpha to our current session. And then we'll say, let's see if we can just find it. There's our knurling. So for another fill layer here, where this will be our fill layer 4, we just want to do height. And now I can drag this onto the height, and then again we can just do triplanar projection, and now we have knurling that we made in ZBrush applied to our object, and we still have all the cool stuff we can do, like dropping the height levels down and assigning it to just particular areas here. So kind of up to you. A lot of different ways. Okay, let me catch up real quick. So we got knurling done, I think. Exactly. I know. Sorry, Nizumi. I should be nicer to you guys, and they're fine. These are fine, upstanding, busted up robots. There's nothing wrong with them. They're good guys. Hey, thanks for stopping by, creatures, and yeah, the Substance Painter, I mean, this is like scratching the surface of Substance Painter. Like, there's so much cool stuff you can do in here. And again, the thing I like most about it, and when we get into, like, I'm going to do some weapons for these guys, and when I get into the sci-fi stuff for Pixelogic and the military stuff, there's a lot of really cool stuff you can do in here that's really, and the coolest thing about it is it's fun to do. It's not a drag where it's like, I mean, I can do a lot of cool stuff, but man, I'm going to be banging my head against a wall. It's like, no, it's actually kind of fun to go in here and just go through the procedurals and kind of play with these options and play with sliders and mix and match channels and stuff. And then everything else is icing on the cake, stamping on the details and doing grunge map fill layers with a multiply, and then going in and doing all sorts of